Massive news out of Europe today regarding crypto regulation, big Coinbase news as well, as they could be leaving the USA, the latest out of Russia, latest out of the US Congress and what they're doing with crypto. And let's start off with a live view of Bitcoin attempting to take and hold above $30,000.
Everyone, that everything after clearing the tower was icing on the cake.
Of course, that was the SpaceX launch from today. But anyway, our first attempt to breach $30,000 has failed. Surprise. Now this chart here shows where critical support is to the downside. The first critical line is at $26,700. Now that would just be a retest of the previous range that we were stuck in between $26,700 and $28,700. So not that big of a deal. What we really need to watch out for is if we lose $25,000. If we fall under that second orange line on the bottom there, then it could be bad news bears for Bitcoin and the wider crypto market. So let's keep an eye on how we see a weekly close form up here. Also, here is a little just hit of hopium for you before we break down the big news affecting markets right now. This is the monthly MACD for Bitcoin. It is very close to confirming a bullish cross. Has not confirmed yet, just to be clear. But as you can see on the chart here, we're getting close. And in the past, a bullish cross has often resulted in a new mega price rally for Bitcoin, except in 2019, although it did kind of rally in the same month that it happened. But the question is, I guess then, are we looking at 2023 as a 2019 redo, or is this the start of something bigger? Well, let me know your opinion down below in the comment section. Is it going to be a bit of a nothing burger or something big about to happen? Let me know. Now let's talk about the big news coming out of Europe. You see, the European Parliament has just approved a new cryptocurrency law. They've brought in regulations that are going to finally bring in some kind of certainty for European markets. Now they're going to require licensing for all cryptocurrency service providers, and there's some good and some bad here, right? At least it provides the clarity, right? So then companies can work around whatever the new clarity is. Now the key points that you need to know are the regulations aim to establish a legal framework for the transfer of cryptocurrencies, including the transfer of cryptocurrency from one provider over to another provider. Now this does, however, force service providers to basically pass on counterparty details regardless of how small that transaction might actually be, which could end up being a real compliance nightmare for any crypto companies wanting to work inside of Europe. Doesn't matter where you're based, if you're selling to Europeans, you got to comply. The regulations also require cryptocurrency service providers to perform due diligence on their customers to prevent, of course, money laundering and, of course, terrorist financing. Yeah, usual stuff, right? The regulations will also apply to all cryptocurrency service providers regardless of where they are located. So as mentioned, if they are providing services to European customers in the European Union, they need to comply. Now, the new regulations are expected to provide really just a much greater level of transparency and security for the average investor, hopefully, right? And reduce the risk of fraud and illegal activities in the cryptocurrency markets, which ostensibly is a good thing if it works as intended and doesn't end up being a giant tyrannical overreach by governments. The regulations are part of a broader effort by the European Union to regulate the digital economy and, of course, to protect consumers in the digital age. Now, BINANCE CEO, he came out and said, on the back of this news, he said, this means one of the world's largest markets is introducing tailored regulations for the cryptocurrency industry to protect users and support innovation, and that there are now clear rules of the game for crypto exchanges to operate in the EU. It's good news, right, from that perspective. Basically, this is Europe looking at the USA and saying, monsieur, would you like some pommes frites with that? Meanwhile, in Europe, well, last week we saw the French stock markets actually hitting a new all-time high, largely brought up by luxury brands, which make up many of the top 10 biggest companies in France. The French decided to celebrate this great milestone of economic achievements in the markets by storming the stock markets. Crazy stuff. Check this video. Oh man, the French, they really know how to celebrate, don't they? Also, it reminds me of this scene from Batman.
It's a stock exchange. There's no money you can steal.
Really? And why are you people here?
Now, before we break down the big news out of the USA about Coinbase, about Russia as well, I just wanted to say that if you are a trader, they need to get yourself an account over on BYBIT. They have the best futures markets in the game. A big spot altcoin market is a wildly popular copy trading services. And if you use that link down below in the description to start your account, then you are going to be eligible for up to $30,000 in bonuses. And as a special limited time promotion, they're doing a $1,500 cash giveaway exclusively for people signing up using that link. Just deposit $100 or more and make one trade and you'll be in to win. Winners announced on May 1st. Now let's talk about the big crypto bill hitting the USA. So US Democrats, they've just this week discussed the draft stablecoin bill that has been kind of just circulating around desks for like a year or something like that, but has only just been published by the House Financial Services Committee. So this is a 73-page bill, and it's really the first major piece of crypto legislation that is being discussed right now by Congress. See, the draft bill would require stablecoins to actually maintain reserves backing the coins on a one-to-one basis, which great, that's a great idea. It would also require stablecoin issuers like Tether and Circle to come in and register with the Federal Reserve or face a $1 million fine and up to 5 years in prison. I wonder if they'll do the whole SEC thing, come in and register, but there's not actually any way to register. But with everything that's happened since the bill was put together with, FTX and all the rest of the craziness, I think it's pretty clear that really no one knows what Congress is going to do or what the bill should really say or be or even do itself. So right now they're even questioning whether stablecoins are even needed. So obviously this bill is going to need some updating here, and of course the politicians are going to need some updating in their outdated mindsets. Just a clown show, man. Anyway, speaking of clown shows, the SEC chair Gary Gensler got grilled pretty good this week on whether or not Ethereum is a security. And after almost 5 hours, he still couldn't answer the very simple question. But he did, of course, say, hey, look, I can't answer that very basic question about whether Ethereum is a security or commodity, but the crypto laws are so clear as they currently stand. So clear, I can't even answer a basic question on them. Man, I tell you, look, straight up, the USA is falling behind super fast on crypto, and this is a fast-moving market. If they fall behind now, it's bad news, right? The SEC is trying to kill the industry domestically. The choice right now is obvious for any United States-based developers or service providers. Stay in the USA and hope that something changes some point in the distant future, or basically just wait to be sued by the SEC and be totally destroyed. Not a great choice. Or you can go to somewhere like the EU, the UK, the UAE, Hong Kong. They're all regulating, they're all making clear rules, and they all want your business. Look, it's already happening. Coinbase, they just got a license in Bermuda. Now, is this the beginning of the end for Coinbase in the USA? Maybe. The exchange has also met with UK regulators just this week, and they have already indicated that they are going to consider leaving the USA altogether if regulations don't ease off. I mean, I could easily see them hopping over to the UK, being based out of London now. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And from previous reports, Coinbase has already been working on its global presence, right? They've been seeking regulatory approvals in Brazil, in Canada, in Singapore, the EU more broadly, looking at the UAE as well. And it now looks like a swift exit plan from the US might actually be coming together. Coinbase has received its license to operate, of course, in Bermuda, as mentioned. Now that's going to allow them to operate as both a digital assets exchange, so basically using Coinbase as Coinbase is currently, but also to launch a derivatives exchange. And it may be coming sooner than you think. You see, in a report from Forbes on April 19th, it said that a person close to the company has claimed Coinbase is planning to launch a derivatives exchange in Bermuda as soon as next week. Now, this next news that I have for you is super big as well. You see, as the USA continues to fight over, oh, crypto, what are we gonna do? Is Ethereum a security or not? I don't know. Russia making damn sure to include crypto in its fight against global sanctions. You see, the Bank of Russia has announced its plan to allow cryptocurrencies to be used in a pilot program for external settlements. The Petro Bitcoin is coming, guys. I'm talking about it for years. It's finally happening. As part of the plan, Russia has explained it will create new institutions to facilitate these different cross-border settlements happening in crypto, as well as to help facilitate crypto mining in the country. By the way, Russia just became the #2 Bitcoin miner in the world again. The Bank of Russia is currently working with the Russian government to decide how these new companies are actually going to be allowed to operate, what kind of oversights necessary, stuff like that. Russian head of Congress Finance Committee has come out and said some foreign partners are already ready to accept Bitcoin and different cryptocurrencies in international trade. That's insane. And the CEO of the Global Digital Asset and Cryptocurrency Association has also come out chiming in by saying that overly aggressive actions that drive crypto innovation, blockchain technology, strategy, and entrepreneurs offshore in effect only lessen the ability of the United States to be able to lead geopolitically and from the standpoint of monetary policy in particular. Very interesting. Okay, that's it. Subscribe now. I'll see you next time.